Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new tactic video to do today. It is going to be for the 3-5-2 tactics from this pro player that actually ended up winning the Premier League competition. I could be wrong if I'm not pronouncing that right, because I don't really follow the competitive scene that much. But a lot of people actually sent me this formation a while ago, and I've been using this formation for pretty much every single review because it's a really helpful formation to use to test out the capabilities of each individual card, because it fits the meta of the game really nicely, and it kind of allows players to move freely because there's not that many tactics associated to this actual tactic, right? So guys, with this new tactic, it is going to be for the 3-5-2, right? So you guys know my main accounts. There's a few players here and there that I probably changed by now, but I use this account so that whenever I do tactic videos, I actually have a good enough meta team, right? So guys, the way that this team is lined up in game, the way that the tactics is lined up is like this, right? So it's the 3-5-2 tactic with the defense set to balanced, width is set to 42, depth is set to 62, build up play on balance, direct passing for chance creation, because to be honest with you guys, direct passing is so hugely meta in this game for you to score certain opportunities that it's just very important to have for formations that have two strikers, one cam for the most part. It was the same thing with the Japes 3-4-1-2. And then we have players in the box set to 5 with corners and free kicks set to 1 and 1 each. The instructions, very basic, okay? Everything is untouched except for the cam on stay forward, and then the left mid and right mid are on comeback and defense, right? So the center mids or CDMs are untouched, the center backs are untouched, and the two strikers are untouched, right? So what happens in a tactic like this is that you kind of have to rely on in-game mechanics from each individual card, right? So you're going to see that for me personally, I try to have a certain balance in my squad as much as possible. So if you guys watch the reviews for someone like the Icon Moments Thierry Henry card, you're going to see what types of players I like using for this type of formation, okay? Because Thierry Henry we're reviewing on the main account to test out certain things here and there, because he actually has really good attacking AI. So what you'll notice for this 3-5-2 from the players that we currently have for this team is that I have a target man push forward type player in Icardi, but then I have aggressive attacking AI with someone like Karim Benzema. Then I have Griezmann playing in the cam position. I have players that are both capable at attacking and defending in the left mid right mid position. It would be preferable to have someone who is left footed in that Hakimi position, but obviously as his whole OTW and the fact that he has a decent weak foot, I use him in that position anyways. The midfield, you kind of want to have a good balance as well. So for me, I have someone who is high medium work rated against someone who is high work rated. That's a perfectly fine balance. You can have someone who is medium high work rated with a high, that would be well balanced as well. You can have two highs. Usually with two highs I like, but it has to be certain cards that have two good highs, right? And then the center backs that I have, you can see that I'm still using the Koza, which lacks in physical presence, but still decent card for the three at the back formation because of his agility. That's pretty much it. Honestly, I think I would go with a Koundé by now if I get those French links. If the French links is all I need, I would go with a Koundé, but I just don't spend the money because I might as well just use the money for reviews, right? So that I don't really care if I don't have a Koundé for the main squad. But yeah, Koza's playing through the middle, Marquinhos on one side, Delaney on the other. Guys, listen, here's the one thing I'm going to say about this formation. Here's what I'm going to say about pretty much any formation and tactic video in this game. Try to have pace as much as possible, okay? Pace is going to be very important, especially in the defensive positions as well as the midfield area. Well, pretty much every position. It's just huge in this game, because if you do not have pace for your center backs in a 3-back formation, all people will do against you is counterattack, through ball, lob pass. That's the only thing that they will do, okay? So try to have players that have above 95 pace for both acceleration and the sprint speed as much as possible, okay? And, when it comes to the balance in your team, guys, like I said, there's always going to be different types of squads you can make. If you guys watch the reviews of me doing the Thierry Henry, Bash and Schweinsteiger, you're going to see those types of teams and how I line them up in game, and those work perfectly fine as well, right? At some point, I was using Philipp Lahm and Schweinsteiger as my midfielders, with Vasquez as a right mid because he can attack and defend, all of that good stuff, right? So it's very basic. Just try to have players that can attack and defend in the left mid, right mid position. Have a balance between both of your midfielders where they each offer their own variables, right? Like I said, high medium on an Awar, high on a Guendouzi, a little bit different, right? And Awar's card is, as a winter wild card, is still really good nowadays, to be honest. And then, you know, at the top, if you watch the Thierry Henry video, I had Lacazette with his high work rates next to Thierry Henry with his good attacking AI, and that worked out really great for me as well. There's reviews that you guys will watch sometimes of me, you know, using Robin van Persie up top in the striker position next to Kylian Mbappe, and then I have Draxler in the cam position. Draxler is actually like pretty solid. Ever since I reviewed the card, I always mentioned that he has like pretty decent attacking AI, so he's actually nice to use in that cam position too. The cam position, you want to try to get players, you know, like a Phil Foden, a Griezmann card, a Fekir card. That Draxler card was decent. Players you could buy off the market. Honestly, in this game, there's not a lot of players that play in the cam position that actually play it well. You know, most of it was like SBC stuff, I would say. The market, you could probably get a few players here and there depending on the situation, but try not to use players like Sterling and stuff in the cam position. Like Sterling plays well in the cam position, but those cards, they kind of belong mainly in the side positions. Try to get a player that will mainly play through the middle and play it well. In the future, if they ever get like a team of the season Morales card, that would be very nice too. But yeah, try to get someone who's like a high medium work rated player for the most part. You can go with a high low as well, but the best work rate honestly is like medium low. If you can get a medium low work rated player in that cam position, that would be perfect as well. So yeah, this is how the tactics are lined up in game, guys. I'm gonna get some highlights from me using my main account and using other people's accounts, but it's always in the elite division. Okay, I'm never gonna do a tactic video in the lower because that wouldn't make any sense. You can probably do like a 4-4-1-1 in the lower, and you know, elite division for every single video. Okay, so let's go ahead and show the highlights and take it from there. Okay, guys, so let's take a look at some of the goals that we ended up scoring here, right? So the important thing with this formation is a few things, right? It's kind of very similar to the 3-4-1-2 formation, but the thing is that you actually have both of your midfielders on balance instructions. So what happens when you have both of them on balance instructions is that they play to base characteristics. So let's say you have like two high work rated players. What usually tends to happen is that one of them ends up attacking while the other one stays back. But there are going to be moments that if you have two high work rated players, they might actually push up together at some points, right? So you do have to be careful about that when it comes to the players pushing back, right? So over here, you can see me doing a combination of using Kylian Mbappe with Karim Benzema. I ended up selling that Mbappe at some point because I'd rather just have the coins to review other cards. So that's why we ended up doing that. But obviously having Benzema and Mbappe up top in the striker position for that attacking AI is always very helpful to work with, right? So yeah, the breakdown. So the breakdown is usually just utilizing left mids and right mids as much as possible while going back into the middle and waiting for that extra pass to make, right? Because what happens is that, you know, the direct passing tactic is so important for this year's game because you have players in the striker position that will aggressively push forward but then come back. So that aggressive comeback part of the card, that's the thing that you have to look for the most, right? So you'll see it when I use Thierry Henry and Lacazette up top in the striker position. You'll see it a lot when I'm using Kylian Mbappe and Karim Benzema too. So it's just working space in the middle as much as possible. You can see Karim Benzema forcing that run forward, but then understanding that it doesn't make sense to keep going forward and then coming back, right? So again, small dribbles, work some extra space. We try to get the pass here with Griezmann, but again, I'm just doing small little left stick touches to wait for the players to transition from that aggressive attack to that aggressive track back. The track back part is the thing that you always want to look for when it comes to the meta of the game, because park the bus is very effective. So it's one of the few ways that you can score against it, right? So you can see here another situation where I'm going for a bunch of shot cancels. Sometimes you get lucky. What you guys have to look for a lot, right, is that because shot canceling inside the 18-yard box is such an important thing to do for this year's game, when you do shot cancels, guys, make sure that you are always looking for the extra pass, especially if you know that your other players have really good attacking AI, right? So in a situation where, you know, I'm using someone like Thierry Henry and Lacazette, if I do a shot cancel with any of those cards, most of the time there's always going to be that extra pass to make through the middle of the pitch, right? So you can see that when I'm attacking against these guys, right, I probably get a shot there with Benzema, but every time I go for a shot cancel, there's always an extra pass to be made, right? Shot cancel pass, shot cancel pass. Just a huge meta thing to use for this game, right? So here, a situation we have Griezmann playing in the cam position, waiting for the space to open up. So you can see here already, the push forward, come back. You can have a player in the left striker position, you know, creating that space for your other player for you to have that space to work with. This is textbook Inception stuff that we do here, where I just kind of like dribble just about going outside the, you know, going for the corner kick. but I always do like the small little left sticks to kind of work the angles a little bit more. Over here, we work some small little left stick dribbles. You can see that this goalie doesn't even know what's happening and just completely just loses control here. So we have Benzema here, forcing the run here at Benzema to create space through the middle. Griezmann has the ball here. Switch it off to Icardi. I make the initial run there with Icardi so that I can open up the space while giving the ball off to Benzema to make that pass to go for a first time finish, right? So having someone like Icardi who kind of offers himself like a target man and then he pushes forward like he does right there, that's the play style that you definitely want to work with a lot when it comes to having two different types of players. That's why I like using Icardi with Benzema, because Mbappe and Benzema are both players that have good attacking AI. I like two different types of attacking AIs because it adds like a variable of having someone that's like acting like a false nine as well as acting like an aggressive striker. Over here, this is when you guys see me using Thierry Henry. So that initial pass that I did for the first clip with Thierry Henry to Lacazette, Lacazette makes that run for me, right? Very, very solid player, by the way. Beautiful pass here with Philipp Lahm while we were reviewing him. Thierry Henry with the finish from getting into the right position at the right time. We have the ball here with Lacazette doing a couple shot cancels. Now, this is an example that I was mentioning earlier, right? So look at all the small little touches that I wait for, right? Small little touches, small little touches. Thierry Henry this year actually has really good attacking AI. It's just the dribbling that you really have to work with. So a situation like this is a very good opportunity to show you guys. I have the ball with Lacazette. I do a first time lob pass because Thierry Henry is already making the run. I go for a couple of little dribbles, a ball roll. Griezmann's already well positioned to score the opportunity. Look at Lacazette again to Thierry Henry, making a fantastic run. Great little finish by him again, right? So having really high passing stats, guys, again here with Lacazette is going to be a very important thing to work with. That's a typical FIFA 22 finish with the ball roll driven. Definitely one of the ways to score in this game when given the opportunity to get those attacking plays. And then this is going to be the last one here. Again with Lacazette, just doing a proper pass into the midfield position. Couple of small left stick. Thierry Henry gets into a good position. First time strike, good to go, right? So that is going to be the meta of how you want to play this formation. It's just kind of how it works for the most part. It's a really boring meta, but it's just the way that you gotta play against people who will usually park the bus for the next gen version of the game. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this video today. Be sure to check out the original video, guys, because these are not my tactics. This is just us reviewing the tactics, okay? I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.